Good day, everyone. Welcome to our information session about the University of Waterloo's online Master of Management Sciences, Management of Technology program. My name is Brent Schmidt. I will be your host for today's session. I'm a marketing consultant based in Waterloo, Ontario. And to support the marketing of this program, I had the pleasure of interviewing current and past students. And you can read some of their testimonials on the program page when you're ready for that. I will share a few of their stories today and hope you find them helpful. And I would like to express my gratitude to each of you for joining us today. We have an informative session planned for you. So let me introduce some of the other participants in the session. First, I'll mention Brian Kozarin. He's a PhD and professor, and he's the director of the program. Maria Sandoval is the Graduate Studies Marketing and Recruitment Specialist from the Faculty of Engineering. And Michael Bradford, he's a PEng and a graduate of the program, and he's here to offer a student's perspective. So not here today is Kimberly Dunn. She's our graduate administrator for the program, and she will be your go-to person to help you with applications and get you set up to be successful in the program, and we'll provide her contact information later. We want this to be an interactive session, so please introduce yourselves in the chat. Where are you located? You could say your country. And your current title and organization you're working at. Again, this is all voluntary, but it's good to know who's on the line if you're willing to share that. Thanks for being here. We'll review the agenda in a moment. Let's start our session with a story of a graduate. So I interviewed Sue here a few weeks ago, and she graduated from this program over 10 years ago. I wanted to learn about her journey and how the program has impacted her career. When she applied for the program, Suhira was working in a technical role at a major bank in Canada. She had an undergrad in computer science and wanted to advance her career into management. And she was looking for a master's program that allowed her to complete it while taking care of her two children and fulfilling her job duties. And she wasn't in a position where she could quit her job and attend an on-campus program. So the flexible online format of this program that we're talking about today, and the reputation of the University of Waterloo being a top school for engineering and technology, were two key reasons that she chose the program. And during our conversation, she shared that the program has had a significant impact on her career. Receiving a promotion soon after starting the program, it also boosted her confidence to set a higher amount for what she expected in a wage. She broke even on the cost of the program within 6 months of graduating, thanks to a bonus and a salary increase. She's currently working in Dubai and credits the online MMSc MOT program as a key factor in getting her current job as a director of operations for a company called Grow Intelligence. They're a SaaS organization. So what are you going to learn today? There are really 4 key topics that we'll cover in our information session. Number 1, why Waterloo's reputation can open doors for your career. What is this program, this online MMSc Management of Technology program? Why do technical professionals choose this program over an MBA and other programs? And then some of the details that you might be looking for: admission requirements, the courses, duration of the program, and the tuition. So what questions do you have? If you have any questions, please put them in the chat now. We want to answer any of your questions. We have time today to do that. Of course, if we run out of time, we'll follow up and provide contact information to make sure you get your questions answered. And we will be sharing this recording as well.
I'm so happy to hear, of course, all those news about our students being successful once they take the program at the University of Waterloo. The Faculty of Engineering at the University of Waterloo, of course, is the place to be. The university is known for this global reputation for academic excellence and supportive entrepreneurial ecosystem. That's the reputation of Waterloo. So it comes from those kind of stories. We have more than 42,000 students attending annually at the university, and we are the #1 university in Canada for experiential learning and employer-student connections. The Faculty of Engineering is known for innovative research, world-class facilities, emerging technologies. So definitely, if you're thinking about how can I learn and how can I get more tools to improve in my career, Waterloo is a good option. The Faculty of Engineering at Waterloo, at the University of Waterloo, is one of the world's top engineering schools and the Canada's largest school. We're going to talk now a little bit about how the program looks like and to who it is designed. So it is designed especially for technical professionals. So if you are a STEM professional, or you have a STEM background in science, technology, engineering, or math, or you are, my apologies, or if you are a working professional working in a technical field, and you feel like you want to advance in your career, but you see you're missing these management skills, then this is a good option for you. This is a MMSc, Master of Management Sciences degree with a specialization in management of technology. So if you are thinking like, how can I improve all my tech? I have all the knowledge, all the tech knowledge, but you want to advance in this, in your company, or you have your own company, or you are applying for a new role and you want to grow, then definitely this is a good option. This is designed to give you the tools for you, the management skills that you need to advance in your career. Basically, that's why this program first, it is 100% online, same as the testimonial that we were talking about now. We understand, of course, that it's hard for you to quit to your job and come to the campus every day, so it's a little bit heavier if you're working. So it is 100% online. You don't have to come to the campus. It is also part-time, so you can balance your family, studies, your life, fun, everything. You can have a good balance in your life. So that's why it's designed to be part-time. It gives also a scientific approach to management. That means knowing exactly what is to be done and how it's to be done. So we use scientific methods to define and standardize the one best way of doing a job. So that's why it is designed for this profile, for STEM professionals, working professionals in technical field, because we give this approach to management, a scientific approach. And of course, when you're thinking about investing in a master, like to study again, then you want that this title, it comes from a top ranking school, like it is the University of Waterloo. For you as an investment, like where I'm gonna invest my time and my money. And of course, when you're applying for jobs in your own business as well, you want to have a title that is coming from the University of Waterloo. That's what makes the program unique. Online, part-time, scientific approach to management, and a top ranking school. That's really the focus.
Awesome. And so you'll see some of those key points highlighted in the different stories. I'm sure Michael will cover some of those as well when we chat later in the end of this presentation. So another student that I interviewed, a graduate, is Mizanur. And his story starts, he was working for one of Canada's telecommunication giants as a network planning manager, and he found himself in the same technical role for 8 years. And I heard that story quite a lot in the students I interviewed, this idea of feeling stuck. In his case, he actually even said he felt depressed by his situation. He knew he was technically at the top of his game as an engineer, but was missing management knowledge and management presence. So a discussion with his manager led to a search for a master's program. He knew about Waterloo's reputation, again, as Maria said, being respected for engineering, and found this online MMSc MOT program. And like many of the professionals I interviewed, he chose the program because he wanted to stay in a technical management position. He wasn't looking to become the CEO of his organization. He really wanted to build on his engineering degree. And this degree, along with his experience, helped him break through his career ceiling and move into a management position. And during our interview, he proudly shared that he applied the learning from one of the courses in the program and saved his organization over $1 million. His career continues to evolve. In the past few years, he shifted into a customer-facing business development role and added more credentials to support his new position. So I wonder if any of you here feel stuck in your position and whether your story is similar to his? If it is, you can put a yes in the chat. So you've heard a few stories from graduates, why the brand of Waterloo can open doors for you with the reputation it carries, the weight it carries in the eyes of employers. You understand a little more about who the program is for and how it's different from other options. Now let's review some of the details you likely are looking for.
The entire program is usually completed within 2.5 years on a part-time basis. You're going to take 8 courses, 1 course by term. The good news as well is that you pay by course, you pay as you go. So you don't have to worry about paying this huge amount of money when you're thinking about making a master's degree, right up front. You pay by course. So that's, of course, very flexible for you. The tuition changes by term, but just as an example, the tuition for spring 2022, it was 3,947 Canadian dollars, of course, just to give you a reference. The total cost of the program will be around $32,000. A good option, and we have seen that in our students, is that you can ask to your current employer if there is any program, how they can help you to finance these masters. 95% of our students' body is either fully or partially funded by their employers. Why? Right away, once you start this master, of course, you're going to get tools that you can apply in your job. You can improve processes, you can improve a project, you can give value to the company right away. It is part-time, it is online, so it doesn't affect your job and the city where you are.
Starting dates and deadlines. The application deadlines for this program are 3 months before the beginning of the term you would like to start your program. We have 3 intakes. If you want to start on May, spring, the deadline is February 1st. If you want to start taking your classes in September, fall, the deadline to apply is June 1st. We also have winter, January intake. The deadline to apply is October 1st. So again, the application deadlines are 3 months before the beginning of the term you would like to start your program.
If you have any questions about that, how to apply, to review the application, questions about your case specifically, you can also leave them in the chat to see if we can solve something right away. Or also you can always contact Kim. Brent, you mentioned her at the beginning, so she's your direct contact in case that you have any questions. He will be happy to answer any of those questions.
Okay, so typically we're looking at people with a STEM background, science, technology, engineering, math. So that's what this says, honors bachelor degree with a minimum of 75% standing in the last 2 years. We'd like to see, and if you've done a STEM degree, you will have done math, probably calculus, potentially linear algebra, and statistics. All we ask for is a statement of purpose, which is a 1-page statement addressing your academic background and future goals. The application materials are very straightforward, unless you have to do an English language proficiency test, and I would advise you to contact Kim Dunn if that's the case. The other good thing about applying is that you don't need GMAT or GRE. We are GMAT and GRE free. And your references, another good aspect is your references do not necessarily have to be academic, because we know that many of you have been out of school for quite a while and it might be difficult to get an academic reference. Just as a caveat, we do also look at people who have non-STEM backgrounds. In particular, me, I would be looking at your file if you applied. And we do admit people with non-STEM backgrounds, say someone who has a degree in economics, for instance. So long as you have the calculus, linear algebra, and statistics, it is possible to enter. And we'd have to have a hard look at your statement of purpose as to what your current job is and what your goals are.
Here are some examples of the professionals who enroll often. They have titles like this one, like before the MMSc. So they have senior, lead engineer, technical team lead, project manager, specialist, IT specialist or supervisor, quality assurance engineer, technical and software architect, developer, system analyst. But after they take the program and after, of course, a couple of months, years, when they already apply for a different position, then they become chief technology or engineer officer, IT manager, senior technical product manager, director, information security architecture, quality assurance manager, and director, software developer manager. Those, of course, are some examples that we're showing you here. So you know what kind of titles, maybe you can identify yourself in one of those positions and where do you want to be in the future.
Yeah, I'm glad Michael was able to join today. So Michael graduated from the program in 2017. And again, if you have questions, he'll be happy to answer. But we're going to start with a brief Q&A. So you get to know him and his journey, and then we'll, again, open it up for questions if there are any. So, and Michael, we talked, you said you started this program in 2015. Just maybe tell us what was going on for you in your career, and ultimately, why did you decide to take this program?
Yeah, for sure. So back in 2015, I was a supervisor in a manufacturing plant. I had my engineering degree and I even had my trade papers from Tool and Die. So I was very comfortable from a technical side, but I wasn't advancing anything towards the management side. And I felt underprepared to be able to take on those roles. I didn't have the fluency I think needed for management, structure, and how to lead a business line. So at that point, I started really looking into programs that I could take in order to enhance the skill set that I already had, and would allow me to continue to be on the technical side of operations. So when I started looking at different programs, like I said, and there was three things that I was really interested in. First of all, I wanted to keep working because gaining, the working experience is also very important. Partnered up with academia at the same time. I wanted to get knowledge and information and experience on things that I could apply immediately and not wait for a program to be done before I can execute on something. And I wanted to have a very good reputation school as well, because that was part of the whole package I was looking for. Is not just what I get out of it, but also the non-tangible, the soft side of it is what doors could that university or institution open up for me as well. And so this program really hit a lot of those points for me, all of them in fact. Reputation is unquestionably excellent at Waterloo, internationally, in Canada, especially in the GTHA, the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Very, very well recognized, and it's that brand recognition that really helps open some doors as well. I found that the program was very manageable to complete while working, which taking it a semester at a time is digestible. And I even had 2 promotions during the length of the program, and 2 relocations to different provinces inside of Canada. And I wouldn't have been able to do that and take those challenges on if I was stuck in a brick and mortar institution. I would have had to make some tough decisions on that. And I could directly apply what I was learning from the courses while I was in the course and afterwards.
Awesome. Was there a certain course that kind of resonated with you that really caught your attention as being valuable? Maybe you were working on a certain challenge at the time, or you just really resonated with what you were learning? That ultimately we were talking about adding value to your undergrad, right, as an engineer. So, like, where was the add-on for you?
Well, I'd say there was 2 courses that were very important. Before I say that one, I'd say the applied economics was really good partnership with my engineering side and projects. I was able to talk a lot better with the controllers at the company and the senior managers to get my projects through and really help with the cost savings potential and really look at that multiple year plan and the ROI and try and get my projects approved over other people, which is always a good thing for exposure. And that did definitely really helped. I mean, one of my careers that I got to in here was the PMO, like project management officer at a company. And I wouldn't have gotten to that if I didn't have the ability to speak that way. I understand it very well. But the 2 courses that I think really helped with that as well was the organizational behavior and the foundations of senior management. that really helped me start thinking strategically. And when you need to be strategic and you need to think in those roles, you don't just start the day that you start the position. You need to be strategic about learning strategy. And it takes a long time to start practicing that. And, the organizational behavior was a big one for me. Yeah, right there. And, even, I think it was this week, I was talking about one of the things that we learned in that class with someone as an example, having to do with salary. And, these things, they keep popping up, and it's recurrence, even though, I graduated 6 years ago. It's still something that is part of my everyday work.
That's awesome. And can you talk a little more, again, from the beginning, we talked about this idea of why technical professionals choose this over an MBA, and in the interviews that I did with yourself and other students, there was this point in which there was the decision where people said, yes, I want to get a master's, and then it's like, should I do an MBA or something else? How did you go through that process and ultimately decide that this was the right path for you when it came to, again, your career?
So when I was searching, I did look at MBAs as well, and looking at this program and others. And one of the conversations I had with the HR team at my company, and when I mentioned the MBA, they were asking what my aspirations were and what I wanted to get to. That 15-year question, where do you want to be in 15 years? I'm sure nobody knows, but that's the question that they tend to ask. And it was kind of insightful because I wanted to stay with operations, the CTO, the COO type of positions, VP operations. And their advice was an MBA isn't purpose built for that. It's a very general business related. If you want to be, the CEO of the company or, the CFO of the company, it really marries up with that. And you see that through the MBA specializations and how they break apart so many different the avenues. I already had all the technical that I wanted. I was pretty top of my game when it comes to that. So I only wanted complementary skills. And I felt like this was the right tool when I read through the program description and I read through the courses of the things that I needed to get to where I wanted to get to.
Awesome. Thanks. So is there anything else you'd like to share in terms of the impact it's had on your career? Obviously, you shared some good things already. Is there anything else that you think would be helpful for people listening in as they're considering this program? Maybe they're on the fence, or maybe this is the first time they've heard of it. How would you give them some direction in terms of how it might help them in terms of their career advancement?
It boosted me quite a bit, directly from this program. It's things that I heard was I was considered for the more senior roles because of taking this program. They liked that I was able to do it while I was working, be able to execute right away. And it gave me a lot more exposure from having more projects accepted and passed through. I got a lot of challenging missions that I was put on. So every 2 years I was changing jobs, basically from 6 months after I started this program. I was able to add things to where I'm at right now on a very steep incline path upwards. So I got to manage, right now, even national operations for Messer Americas is quite a big one for me right now. And it's something that I wouldn't have been able to do without taking this program for sure. I wouldn't have been able to do the number of presentations, the large projects, the structure, and keeping up with a very fast-paced industry if I wasn't going to be able to take this program. So going back in time, ROI was great for me. Mm-hmm. Very, very quick. Pretty close to what Sue Here's was, around 6 months with bonuses tied in that. Now the company did do the reimbursement for me. Notably for mine, they were willing to pay for one course out of it, but after taking the first course, they expanded it, and I think it was around 80% that they ended up paying for.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, they saw the value as quickly as I did, I think. So
Right. That's great. Well, thanks for being here, Michael. Again, we have a bit of a quiet crowd today. I don't know if there's questions for Michael or not. He's here to answer your questions. So, here's your opportunity. If there are any questions, please put them in the chat.
Also, maybe this is a good option with Brian to expand a little bit more about the courses and what are they going to learn. Michael already mentioned some of them, but Brian can expand.
Okay, so the cornerstone course of the program is Foundations of Senior Management. And it is sort of a catch-all course to try and get students to understand principles that enhance interpersonal skills, tools to evaluate organizational performance and function. Now, it's a cornucopia of other different material that's all being assembled to teach this class. Financial accounting, management accounting, organizational behavior, general management, information systems, production and operations management, and marketing. So all of those are composed in this course. Of course, you're not expected to know the material beforehand, but it's an amalgamation of a lot of different things. So that's kind of, I think I said it already. It's the cornerstone course of the entire program. And then probably one of the biggest differentiators besides that course between us and an MBA is strategic management of technological innovation. So I'm sure all of you who are listening have heard of business strategy before. So how does the company move forward in its current environment, planning ahead, product portfolio changes, staffing, pretty much anything you can think of is included in strategy. Except this course is far more on the innovation part and technological change. So where is this company that you work for? This probably a technical company or it has technical products or services. Where is it headed in the future? And the course talks about product differentiation and different sorts of innovation, which there's, as you know, there's many different types of innovation. So that's that course. Principles of Operations Research. That course is all about pretty much how to optimize things. So it's a modeling course, and anything that you can think of that has to be optimized, such as delivery routes, airline routing, food processing, telecommunications, it runs the entire gamut. OR, it helps in that regard because you're optimizing systems. Organizational behavior is about people. So particularly not just human psychology, like you would learn like social psychology. In general, it's social psychology applied to systems with people inside of them. So it has to do with communication, leadership, how people actually solve problems and learn, things like that. And of course, that learning in terms of organizational behavior is very important because it has key impact on innovation as well, and how the company manages innovation and how innovations become successful. Applied Economics for Management, that's the course I teach. I don't know if you've heard of the structured conduct performance paradigm. It's quite an old one. It's been around since the 60s. This course is an adaptation of that, where we take the structured conduct performance paradigm and put it in the hands of a manager. So you're using economics as a tool to maximize profit and maximize return on investment for your company, as opposed to in many instances when we look at microeconomics of the firm, we're trying to figure out ways to stop externalities from hurting other firms or maybe not being competitive in the environment in the proper way. This course is all about how to be competitive and get ahead for your firm, as opposed to an industry in general. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but I hope I am. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, quantitative data analysis. A lot of students love this course, and then a lot of students do not love this course. It's statistics, primarily. Statistics from the point of view of not becoming a data analyst yourself, because we're not expecting you to actually become a data analyst. You may be managing data analysts, so it'd be a little higher level in terms of an overview of statistics than as opposed to actually learning tremendously detailed concepts that you could apply as a data analyst. And then right now we have, it's not there, but we have for electives, and a couple of them are new. No, 3 of them are new. That's because we're revamping the program. We're in the process of developing new electives, and hopefully there's going to be more. So 2 potential electives from this list: project management, sustainability management, behavioral decision making, which I'm teaching this fall, and science and technology policy. So that's
great.
it.
That's great. So now I think after this, you must have a clear understanding about the program. Here are some common questions that we get. It is, what is the difference between a Master of Management Science compared to a Master of Management? Maybe Brian can help us to answer that question, the difference between Master of Management Sciences compared to a Master of Management.
Yeah, so our department is, Master of Management, you would expect to get that in a business school. And there's also things, I think, I'm not allowed to mention other universities, but there's a well-known university that has a Master's in Industrial Management instead of calling it an MBA. So it's a business school term. Management Sciences, if you search through the internet, you'll see that there are other universities. I'm going to say one, Stanford, for instance, they have a management science department just like us. And management sciences, they are always in an engineering environment. So that's why the name of our program is different than Master of Management.
Perfect. How does the online MMSc, how this program, the Master of Management Sciences Management of Technology program, compares to the one on campus, the MMSc program?
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Okay, so the core is different because you have to take strategic management of technological innovation in the online program, and you also have to take foundations of senior management in the online program. So that's what's different. And then also what's different, it's not in any pamphlet or anything online that you'll read. The courses that we teach online are geared towards managing technology. So the case studies, the practical applications of it would be more in line with the discipline that we're studying, whereas on campus, it would be more general. Again, sort of like, it's not an MBA on campus, but it is more similar to an MBA than what our program is. Our program is not like an MBA online.
And this is online and part-time, and you pay by course.
And part-time, yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Vanessa is asking, can you give us some light on how STEM is incorporated into your business courses, probably with an example?
What was it again? Sorry?
I think Vanessa means like how STEM is incorporated in your business courses, probably with an example.
Oh, okay. Well, so in my own course in 607, Applied Economics for Management, I use case studies for teaching concepts, and all of the case studies involve high-tech stuff, high-tech or at least technology-focused companies. So the last case study that we did, we were talking about the most hated man in America. I don't know if you know who this guy is. He increased the price of, I forget the name of the medication now. It's for many people that have, I think they have AIDS, and it's normally like cents per pill, and he increased the price by about 1,500%. So yeah, that's an interesting case. So there's an example.
There you go. And a question for Michael. How do the class schedules accommodate your full-time working schedule in your life when you are taking the program?
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's any changes to the structure, but there was multiple different components of recorded lectures, there was class material, and there was live sessions as well, similar to like labs that you'd have in an undergrad. So you got to have that direct interaction with the professor and your colleagues in the program, and you had time to work on your own as well. So I felt it was very manageable with work. And I had both. I was working on an afternoon shift when I started, and then I got back into a traditional day shift time. And for both of them, I found it was very manageable.
That's great to hear. That was the objective.
Vanessa has another question
Mhm.
about is there any travel required as part of the degree? And I can answer that actually, that there's no travel. This is 100% online. There's no on-campus activity at all.
So as an international student, of course, you can take this program because it is 100% online and part-time. You just have to accommodate your time, of course, if you're in a different time zone. But since it is a 100% online program, this is not eligible for study permit in Canada because it's online. Maybe Brian or Brent, you can answer like the difference, why to choose an online MMSc, MOT over an MBA, or the difference mainly.
I'll just say from the student's perspective, again, we've talked about it a little bit here, Michael addressed it. For me, what I heard in the interviews was very much what we heard actually in the stories, right? Which is the career direction. The reason they chose it was the career direction was more of a technical side and how they wanted to direct their career. So Brian can maybe speak to more about what an MBA might include versus this program.
Well, so I think we said it numerous times throughout this, is that an MBA is a more general degree than this one. So you're essentially engaged in product differentiation when you take this program as opposed to an MBA. An MBA is a very big pool to be in. There's thousands of MBAs offered across the world, and there's a handful of these types of degrees that are technology based. Like the online program we're offering. And the other interesting thing is, I'm sure all of you have checked, is tuition. So if you go to a top business school, whether it's in Canada, the United States, or around the world, tuition is commensurate with what you would expect to pay for that product. Because the tuition here is, in comparison, it's extremely low. And so the reason is, it's not because the program is not good. It's because we're in an engineering faculty. So we don't charge business school tuition. That is why it's that different. And so what you're getting when you go to a top MBA university in Canada, you're setting yourself up, or the United States or around the world, you're saying to the world, I would like to become a vice president of something or a CEO of something. Whereas at Waterloo, you're coming from Canada's top technology university saying, I want to be a vice president of, say, some kind of functional area, information systems, something like that. So you're differentiating yourself. And I think it's a good thing because the MBA pool is extremely large. So in this pool, the technology related master's pool is tiny in comparison.
Depends on your career direction and your employer, and
yeah,
Waterloo carrying the weight of the engineering technology school and the reputation it has. In the interviews I heard, it carried as much importance as the program itself when it came to why people chose this program, because they knew their employers valued the reputation of Waterloo, and it carried with it a certain level of quality and expectation of performance. I just want to say thank you for joining this information session. We hope it was helpful to inform your career advancement and your decisions. It was our pleasure to host this, and if you do have follow-up questions, we will be following up with an email, and please feel free to email us. So thanks again.